everybody. I have been reading through this book, which I recommend to anybody who wants to get serious about reading through the Sermon on the Mount. It's Lloyd Jones, and it's called Studies in the Sermon on the Mount. Now, what he does is he works through each of the Beatitudes and expounds on them and really shows how they tie together. But the one I was wanted to focus on this morning, and I've got a passage of Scripture to go with it, is blessed are the merciful. I've been thinking a lot about this concept of mercy. And there's a section here in this chapter where he contrasts grace and mercy. And he introduces this section by talking about how in the epistles he starts out by saying grace and peace, but then he moves on to grace, mercy, and peace. So there's this interesting distinction between grace and mercy. And Lloyd Jones writes, the best definition of the two that I've ever encountered is this: grace is especially associated with men in their sins. Mercy is especially associated with men in their misery. In other words, while grace looks down upon sin as a whole, mercy looks especially upon the miserable consequences of sin. So that mercy really means a sense of pity plus a desire to relieve the suffering. That is the essential meaning of being merciful. It is pity plus the action. So what we're saying here is that having pity doesn't just mean you feel sorry for somebody. There's an action that's involved with it. And I think we've been going through James together in our family worship, and then really James 2:14 through 17. What good is it, my brothers, if someone says he has faith but does not have works? Can that faith save him? If a brother or sister is poorly clothed and lacking in daily food, and one of you says to them, go in peace, be warmed and filled, without giving them the things needed for the body, what good is that? So also, faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. So while we recognize as Christians it is not our works that save us, there are works that are attached to our faith. So let's remember that mercy means more than just pitying somebody. It means actually doing something about it. Prayer requests.